The house was quiet in a way that only winter nights can make it. I was 12, home alone for the first time when my parents attended a dinner party 2 suburbs away. They had left at 7, promising to be back by 11. It was now 9:47 p.m., and the snow outside had turned the street into a muffled, glowing tunnel under the streetlights. I was sprawled on the living room couch with a blanket, a bag of chips, and the TV volume low, watching some old action movie when it happened. A single sharp knock on the window, not the front door, the side window, the one right beside the couch, only a meter from where I sat. 3 distinct raps. Tap, tap, tap. My heart slammed against my ribs. I froze, chips halfway to my mouth. The curtains were drawn, but not completely. A thin gap showed the darkness outside. I told myself it was a branch, or the wind, or maybe snow sliding off the roof. But there was no wind tonight. The tree stood perfectly still. Another 3 knocks, slower this time. Tap, tap, tap. Closer to the glass, as if someone was pressing their knuckles right against it. I slid off the couch and crawled on all 4s toward the hallway light switch, keeping low. My bare feet made no sound on the carpet. In the kitchen, I grabbed the cordless phone and dialed my mom's mobile. It rang 4 times and went to voicemail. I tried Dad. Same thing. The knocks came again, louder, more insistent. Now at the front window, the big bay one that faced the street. I could see the silhouette of the Christmas light still plugged in, casting colored blobs on the ceiling. I killed every light in the house except the small lamp in the upstairs hallway. Then I crept back downstairs, heart hammering so hard I felt sick. From the darkened living room, I peered through the tiniest slit in the curtain. A man stood on the snow-covered garden bed, no more than 2 meters from the glass. He wore a dark, hooded jacket, the hood pulled low. His breath fogged the window in slow, steady clouds. He raised his gloved hand and knocked again, 4 times this time. Watch hit the inside of the house like he was waiting for movement. He knew I was home. The TV had been on. The lights had been on until minutes ago. I backed away, grabbed the heavy brass poker from the fireplace, and ran upstairs on silent feet. In my parents' room, I locked the door, dragged the dresser in front of it, and dialed 000 with shaking fingers. While the operator kept me on the line, I heard the side door handle rattle once, twice, then nothing. 10 minutes later, 2 police cars pulled up, lights flashing silently across the snow. The man was gone. They found fresh footprints leading from the side window across the garden and down the street, disappearing where tire tracks cut through the fresh powder. The officer who sat with me until my parents raced home said the man had probably been watching the house for days, waiting for the perfect home alone night. He never came back. But for months afterward, every unexpected sound at night made me flinch. I still check the curtains twice before I settle in to watch TV when I'm home alone. It was a rainy Friday night in June, and I was 14, left alone for the first time while my parents went to a wedding reception across the city. They'd promised to be back by midnight. The clock on the microwave glowed 10:13 p.m. when I heard the first suspicious sound. A soft scrape at the back sliding door, like someone testing the lock. I muted the TV instantly. Rain hammered the roof, but I could still hear it. Metal on metal, a slim Jim or screwdriver working in the old frame. My stomach dropped. The security screen was locked, but the glass door behind it was only latched. Then came the unmistakable pop of the screen lock giving way. I grabbed my phone and sprinted upstairs on bare feet, heart thundering. From the top of the stairs, I watched the silhouette move across the patio. A tall figure in a dark rain jacket, hood up, stepped inside. Water dripped from his clothes onto the kitchen tiles. He stood still for a moment, listening, then started moving toward the living room. He was in the house. I locked myself in my parents' bedroom and shoved the heavy wardrobe against the door with every bit of strength I had. My hands shook so badly I almost dropped the phone while dialing 000. The operator answered, but before I could whisper more than "someone's breaking in," I heard heavy footsteps on the stairs. He was coming up. The bedroom door handle rattled. Once. Twice. Then a low voice muttered, "I know you're in there, kid." Panic flooded me. I remembered the Bluetooth speaker on my dad's nightstand. I snatched it, paired it with my phone in record time, and opened a YouTube video I'd saved months ago for a stupid prank. Realistic gunshot sound effects. I cranked the volume to maximum and hit play. The first shot cracked through the speaker like a rifle going off right beside the door. Loud, sharp, echoing off the walls. The intruder froze. I played it again, then layered a second clip. 2 quick shots followed by the metallic slide of a semi-automatic. "Get the hell out!" I yelled, voice cracking, trying to sound older and meaner than I was. "I've got a gun!" Another gunshot blast roared from the speaker, followed by the sound of a shell casing hitting the floor. For 3 terrifying seconds there was silence. Then I heard frantic footsteps retreating down the stairs, fast, stumbling. The kitchen door slammed. I ran to the window just in time to see the dark figure sprint across the backyard, slip in the wet grass and disappear over the back fence into the neighbor's yard. The police arrived 8 minutes later. They found the sliding door wide open, wet footprints through the house, and the intruder long gone. The officer told my parents later that the guy had a minor record for break-and-enters. The gunshot sounds had clearly spooked him into thinking the house wasn't the easy target he'd expected. My parents were shaken when they got home, but they were also weirdly proud. I still keep that gunshot sound video saved on my phone, just in case. I haven't been left home alone since, without double-checking every lock twice. The old weatherboard house on Elm Street always felt too quiet when I was left alone. I was 13, and my parents had driven to the hospital because my grandmother had taken a sudden turn. "We'll be back before midnight," Mum promised, kissing my forehead. "Lock everything and stay upstairs." By 10:30 p.m., the rain had stopped, leaving the house damp and cold. I was curled up in my room with my laptop when I heard the first sound. A slow, heavy drag across the kitchen floor downstairs, like something being pulled. I told myself it was the cat, but we didn't have a cat. Then came footsteps. Not normal footsteps. Wet, shuffling, uneven. 1 foot, then a long scrape, as if someone was being dragged by the ankle. My skin prickled. I crept to the top of the stairs and peered down into the dark hallway. The basement door, in which we always kept bolted, stood wide open. A faint, sickly glow pulsed from the bottom of the stairs, the kind of greenish light you see in old horror movies. I should have run. Instead, I whispered, "Hello?" The dragging sound stopped. Then it started again, faster, coming up the basement stairs toward me. I bolted back to my room and slammed the door, locking it with trembling fingers. My phone had no signal. The storm must have knocked out the tower. I pressed my back against the door, breathing hard. That's when the temperature dropped so sharply my breath fogged. The door handle turned slowly, even though I'd locked it. Cold air seeped through the gap at the bottom. I felt something ice-cold wrap around my ankle. Invisible fingers, impossibly strong. I screamed and kicked, but it yanked me off my feet. My laptop clattered to the floor. The thing dragged me across the carpet, out the door and down the hallway toward the basement stairs. My nails scraped the wooden floorboards, leaving long, white marks. "No, please!" I cried, grabbing at the banister. My fingers slipped. Whatever had me was incredibly strong. I slid down the first 3 steps on my back, the rough wood burning my spine. The greenish light grew brighter. At the bottom, I could see a shape. A woman in a torn white nightdress from another era, her face pale and hollow, long wet hair hanging over her eyes. She didn't walk. She floated slightly while her arms stretched impossibly long, her hand locked around my ankle like a vice. She was pulling me into the basement. I kicked wildly and managed to twist free for half a second. In that moment, I lunged for the old light switch at the bottom of the stairs and slammed it on. The bare bulb flared to life. The ghost shrieked, an awful echoing wail, and dissolved into black smoke the instant the light hit her. The dragging force vanished. I scrambled up the stairs on all fours, sobbing, and slammed the basement door shut. With shaking hands, I pushed the heavy bookshelf from the hallway against it. When my parents finally got home just after 1 a.m., they found me sitting on the top step with every light in the house blazing and the bookshelf blocking the basement. The realtor later admitted the previous owner had died in that basement in 1968. Found dragged halfway across the floor with no explanation. I have never been home alone in that house again. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment on who you want to hear next on the channel.